Hey, hello everyone, Bruno here. And last time in the last video, we talked about how we can run use thread with that. They're going to take a lot of time, so we can have background responses, start the thread, come back later to see how it's working. But how about if you need to literally shut down your machine, in example, and come back later? What we can do? So we can persist the thread. We can store the thread in a JSON file, in example. This is what we are going to see today, but imagine that you can persist the thread anywhere and then get back to the thread and start to work from where you left. This is a really async scenario. So this is what we are going to see today, how we are going to do this. And hey, it's a fun scenario where we can also do literally 10 lines of code, and we are going to add a lot of extra superpowers and capabilities to our AIs, agents, demos. And of course, everything is with the Microsoft Agent Framework. So let's switch to the code. Let's start with the official documentation. And here we see that the main idea is, of course, I am going to go and see some code. This is how I wrote. So we have here the basic creation of an agent, and then when we have a thread, we can serialize the thread. Super cool. Basically serialize in this case to raw text to JSON, and then deserialize the text to load the text. Super easy and easy to work. In the first examples that we have, what we are going to do, we are going to create a simple Q&A scenario where we are going to create a chat provider, we're going to create an agent, and the idea is that after that, we are going to switch to work with this. And what the cool part, it's not cool, but what we want to do here is basically also tell something that's an example, what is my name? I am going to say the first time, my name is Bruno, persist the thread, and then we are going to see if we can answer this with a new thread, or of course, deserializing and loading the previous thread. So let's run this one once here for the demo. Have here the console, super simple. So we have here, my name is Bruno, nice to meet you. And this is where we have the JSON file. I'm not going to open the JSON, you know, a JSON file. So here what we have is step 2, where we are going to create a new thread. And in this scenario, what we're going to ask the question, what is my name? And print the response. So let's run this, no surprises here, where we are going to have that, hey, I don't know you, I don't know who you are. But in the step 3, what we are going to do is we are going to basically load the thread, the persisted thread, ask the question again, and answer the question. And we see here that while we are reading the file using that thread, and then start to use it. Let's run this one. And here we have, what's your name? Your name is Bruno. What is my name? Sorry, my name is Bruno. So it's super easy, super simple. And because we can serialize and deserialize this, it's opened opportunities to do a lot of things. And now let's see this in a full application. This is the AI chat application that you can install with the AI templates. And I also write in the .NET blog how you can change the official standard one that we have to run this with an agent, using agents. In this scenario, we are going to use agents. We have everything also running under Aspire, so we can see the traces here. And if I go to the chat and I ask a question, for example, what is my name? It's not going to know who I am. I don't know your name. So what I'm going to do right now is say, my name is Bruno, and you probably imagine the next step, ask the name again, and hey, it's going to know, okay, nice to meet you, Bruno. Let's go back to the first question. Your name is Bruno. The interesting part here is that because this chat, this full application is persisted, if I close the application and start the application again, start the full thread here, let me open here the console. There it is. We have everything there. And let me put here the console. Let's open the application. And I ask again the question, what's my name? We are going to see that because it loaded the thread, we have your name is Bruno. And of course, here we have all of the traces that we can see. And if we go to the AI Foundry, we can start to see the questions. And we can see that you have a system measure, a users measure, assistant, user assistant. Okay, we have a lot of things here, not focus on that. And how this works in the back. And this is very simple to work. So the whole idea is that every time that we load the chat view, we are going to initialize a thread. We're going to load a thread. And depending if the thread exists or not, we are going to basically create or not a new thread here. When we have a new message and we finish a message, we are going to persist the thread. And the persist the thread is a very simple lines of code. We can see it here in the bottom, where we're going to we have here a thread store class that is going to have a save thread async. And we also here, when we have a new conversation, we are going to delete the thread. If we go to this service, to the thread service, to the thread store, can't remember the name, chat thread store that I created here. It's a very simple one. It's only have here the constructor and the delete thread, the load and the save. So we have everything there. And it's kind of easy, super easy to do. Right now I am storing the thread in the same application of the browser. So we can see here agent thread that is in the web root path, but you can store this in a database or more, but it's super simple, easy to use. And again, you have here an easy way to add persistence in the threads in conversation to a chat user listen threads, because the main line of code here is that when we are using threads and we make the thread call, we are going to say, hey, AI agent, run this streaming async, where we are going to have the thread that we are using here as part of what we have. And as we see before, the thread is serialized and deserialized depending on where we are. So it's super easy, super simple, and you can add it here literally with 10 lines of code. You can check the code everywhere here. And of course, where you can see the code. So everything is part of the Generative AI for Beginners course. So if you go to the main AKI MS Gen AI Net, so the Generative AI for Beginners.net, in the lesson 6, Agent Effects, we have the full description. It's not the documentation, it's literally a small summary of what we have. And in the samples, when we go to Agent Effects, you have here the chat persisting application, the AI web chat application persisting. This is the full Aspire solution. Here you will see that we have the 3 projects, app host for Aspire, service default, and the web. And if you want to see the consoles demo, we have here the persisting simple demo that we see here, and also the menu. And the menu is literally kind of an extended version of the first one, where when you are talking with the console and you have the option to create a new thread, start a simple session, load and save the thread. So it's another way to show what we can do where we are using persistence here. By the way, the next step will be how we can mix background scenarios, background responses, and persistence. So keep an eye, we are going to work on that next. And that's it. I hope you like it. As I said, there is a lot of opportunities, a lot of scenarios that these new features, background responses, persistence, and more can be really, really useful. And I didn't even enter into the workflow part. This is going to be next, how we can use workflows and more with all of these new things that we have. And of course, we have MCP, export and MCP as function. There are so many new things that we have in the Microsoft Agent framework. If you want to see something, let me know. I'm trying to cover one topic per week. Also, we cover these topics in the Net and AI community stand-up, in the .NET channel, also in the office hours that we have. You can find the links everywhere here. Every code that we have here is in the .NET, the Generative AI for Beginners.net repository that you can find in the resources. So please take a look. Let us know what you want to see. Let me know, and I will try to create a demo, a small video, and a quick recap of this. That said, once again, I appreciate the likes, subscribes, and more. Thanks for the people who are giving me feedback. This is amazing. I like to do this. This is kind of a nice exercise for myself where I can put the content in my head. And hey, see you next one. Bye-bye.